Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's advanced class at SEDA College Online Live. I'm your teacher, Lydia. I'm so happy that you're here with me again, and if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm happy you're here too. You're joining a great community of learners at SEDA College Online. You know that we have all kinds of cool things for you at sedacollegeonline.com, but I just want to let you know that these live classes will be here for you for as long as we need to be here for you. And we're really happy that you make us a part of your day. We really appreciate you taking the time to learn with us and grow with us and joining the revolution that is SEDA College. So I just want to take a moment to give some time for people to arrive here with us. If you need to get a notebook to make your notes, if you need to get your pen and your highlighter, make sure you have those things with you. If you need to, check anything on your phone, like I just checked the time, it's good to know what's going on in your life. You want to make sure you write the date in your notes, keeping track of everything that we're doing. Sometimes all the days seem to run together, so we can remind ourselves of these important things. Today is the 8th of April, 2020. And I'm your teacher, Lydia, and I'm so happy you guys are here. Welcome to the class. I think, it's about time for us to get started. So we're going to get started. Today I had planned on doing grammar for speculation and deduction, but just explaining deduction took so long that I was like, okay, I'm going to have to do a part 2. So tomorrow we're going to do a part 2 where we explore more of deduction and get into speculation, okay? So I know, guys, sometimes I'm not exactly on the schedule of what we're doing, but I'm only a day behind because I feel like I can't just give you these big concepts in one class really quickly. You need to have time to practice things. You need to have time to listen to pronunciation and get all kinds of other great things out of these lessons. So I want to break it down into smaller, more digestible pieces so you can really take it in and understand it. So let's get going. All right, deduction. Let's start out with a definition because why are we going to talk about something if we don't explore what it is that we're talking about? Deduction is all about making a conclusion, inference, or supposition, hypothesis, or thesis from the information or evidence available. So, a lot of times when we use deduction, we say must. So it must be time to study because you are here watching SEDA College Online live class. It must be time to study. And that really feeds into our first example. Deduction we use a lot of times, in conversations with people. We're trying to put the pieces together, get the information or evidence available together, and again, make a conclusion, an inference, a supposition, what you suppose, a hypothesis, a thesis. And in the same way, we often use it when we're writing a paper. We're writing an essay, doing something like that. We put all our evidence together, and in our conclusion, we're going to leave a final thought. So this is academic, but it's also everyday English, and it can be professional purposes as well. All right, so let's examine the verb must. This is the first slide on must, so this is must number 1. What's the first thing you notice in this slide? The first thing I notice is pretty clear. I definitely first pick out these 2 cute little girls here. They're really adorable. So I hope that your eye was drawn to them, and they're going to be in one of our examples. So the first way we can use must is the formula or combination must plus infinitive. Okay, so the base form or the infinitive form of a verb. And that's what I used when I said it must be time for you to study. Must be. Because you're here watching SEDA College Online live. Great. So, number 1, must. We use must plus infinitive for obligation and strong recommendation, but also to say that we are almost 100% sure that something is true. Okay, almost 100% sure. And we're putting the almost in there to leave the door open just a little bit for a small bit of doubt, just in case it's not true. Because we don't always, I mean, it's very hard to know anything 100%. It's not often that we get really clear yes or no. It is or it isn't. Okay, so let's look at some examples of how we can use that even further. They look similar, they must be sisters. That's they, these two girls. They look similar, they must be sisters. So the evidence that I have here is these two girls, my visual representation that I see of these two girls, and I'm looking at their characteristics physically, and they look very, very similar. So I think to myself, they look similar, they must be sisters, and I might say that to somebody. The dog is right there. You must see him. Okay. I see a dog and I say to you, oh, look at that cute dog across the street. And you're like, what? The dog is right there. You must see him. And then you go, teacher, I don't see anything. Maybe you're going a little crazy. If you've ever seen the movie, and it's a famous movie, and it's an old movie, so I think it's okay to mention it. It's called Harvey. It's very old. The most famous actor in it is called James Stewart, or Jimmy Stewart. He was a great actor in old Hollywood, and it's a wonderful film about a man who's going kind of crazy and thinks he sees a very large rabbit named Harvey everywhere. So yeah, it would be the same thing. People were saying to him, uh-oh, you must be crazy. And he was saying, you must see him. He's right here. Interesting stuff. So guys, check out that movie if you get the chance, Harvey. All right, so must plus infinitive. This is our first example. Second example of how to use must for deduction. Must plus be plus gerund. And we remember the gerund is the ing form of the verb, the continuous form of the verb. So we can use must plus be plus gerund with dynamic verbs to say that we are almost 100% sure that something is happening now. Okay? Must plus be plus gerund is something happening now. So what do we see here? A phone, and that's going to come up in a moment. So maybe somebody says to you, it turns out that Bill Gates really didn't create Microsoft. He stole the idea from someone else. And you might say, whoops. You might say, are you serious? You must be joking. You must be joking. I'm talking about what you're doing right now. So that's why I say must plus be plus joke ing. Gerund form, joking. Good. Okay, he's not answering the phone, so he must be working. Not answering his phone's just ringing and ringing or vibrating and vibrating. He must be working. All right. So guys, you can see that's about things that are happening now. Must plus be plus gerund. Okay? So I'm going to ask you guys to take 1 minute to use either must example number 1 or must example number 2 in a sentence, okay? Take a minute right now to use either 1 or 2 in a sentence. Getting a very dry throat. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Lovely classical. Calming classical. It's water. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So, before I check your sentences, I'm going to give you a little tip. This is something I've noticed over many years of teaching. Many students, when they're learning English and they're using must, they always feel like they have to say must plus to plus infinitive. That's a big no-no. Don't do that. You're never going to say must to. He must to. Not in the same sentence. You might say he must. Like if somebody says, is he going to the airport to pick her up? You might say he must to pick her up and make sure she gets home safely. You know, it would be a separate kind of utterance, a separate phrase. Never, ever, ever would we have must and then to in the same sentence, okay? So make sure you don't do that. No must to, just like we have no can't to. These are modal verbs. They're very different. A lot of times people get confused by them. But guys, listen, you can do this, okay? You can do this. Never use must and to together. Never, okay? Never use must and to together, okay? You got it. I know you do. All right. So, I'm sure you did awesome, and I'm going to correct your sentences in just a mo, or maybe I already have, because I'm just magic. So, let's go on to example number 3. Yes, there's a third example, a third formula of how to use must. Must have plus the past participle, or must have been plus the gerund. Okay? And you're like, oh my god, so many words together, and pluses and slashes, and I know, guys, it looks overwhelming. But guess what? You hear it, you listen to it, you read it all the time. You just don't think about it. Okay? You're getting so good, you don't even think about it. So now I'm going to break it down. Break it on down to Grammar Town. Okay? We're going to go to Grammar Town, and we're going to learn about this. We're going to look at some examples. Examples for you to understand. Okay? I'm not a great songwriter, but I hope it made you laugh today. All right. So we use must have plus past participle, or must have been plus gerund to say that we are almost 100% sure that something was true or happened in the past. Okay? In the past. We're talking about the past here, and that's why we have the have in here, or the have been, okay? Because this is perfect tenses. I know. Listen. Let's look at some examples. You got this. You got this. She can't find her purse. She must have left it in the car. She can't find her purse. She must have left it in the car. That she, my friends, is me. I am notorious. I am very famous for leaving things places, okay? There's a lot up in the old brain. I don't always remember all the physical things, okay? My brain is just like doing stuff, all right? So that's me. If you think about she, think about me going, I left my purse in the car. She can't find her purse. She must have left it in the car. She never saw the whole movie. She must have been sleeping when we were watching it. Again, me. Often fall asleep during movies. I don't know when this happened to me. I remember being a teenager and young person, my mother always fell asleep during movies, and I was like, she never gets to see a whole movie. Now that's me. And I don't even have children to show for it, so I don't know why this is happening. All right, so yeah, she never saw the whole movie. She must have been sleeping when we were watching the movie. All right. Let's go on to the next one. Actually, you know what? Before we go on to the next one, I would like you to write your own original sentence now. Practice makes perfect. Use it or lose it with must have plus past participle or must have been plus gerund. That's right, people. It's your turn. And you are in the driver's seat. You can do this. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Again. Actually, no, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Because you know what? Maybe you want to do both. 1 minute for each example. Each grammar point here. Each way of using must. So let's start now. 2 minutes. Give you some music. Music makes the people. Maybe something a little bit faster. Just pick a random bassoon sonata. Yeah, this is nice. Feeling good about my hair today. It's nice. Nothing like a good hair day to really make you happy in the morning. Now it's the afternoon and I still feel good. She's happy with her hair. She must have done it this morning. And I did my hair. He must have studied because he passed the test. Can't wait to see your examples, guys. And I just want to give you your daily reminder that you are doing awesome. Listen, life is not easy, and if it was easy, everyone would be millionaires. You are doing great. Wonderful job. Wonderful thing for yourself being here studying with us. And I'm super proud of you as always. I'm so happy to have you joining me in class here live or later on. So happy you're here, and send us your feedback. Okay, make sure you do. All right, I'm going to check your sentences out. And while I do, let's look at can't. Yes, that's right. Can't. Can plus not. Can't. So the first way we can use can't for deduction is can't plus infinitive. Can't plus infinitive. And what do we see here? What's here in this picture? Some might say that looks like ice, and it kind of does. I agree. However, it's supposed to be a sugar bowl with some sugar cubes in it, and that will come up very soon, okay? So, we can use can't plus infinitive to say that we are almost 100% sure that something is not true, okay? So this is where we get the negative, okay? So, if you are, you know the evidence and everything is telling you that that is not what you think happened or what normally happens, then you say that. He can't have put the timer on the oven. The sausage was burnt. Okay, so he definitely didn't time it because it cooked for too long and now it's burnt. Okay, so more examples. He can't be serious. Everyone knows that sugar is terrible for your health. Hello? Sorry, I feel like a teenager from California. Hello? All right, next example. She can't be happy because, not he, but she can't be happy because the painters never finished the job. So imagine you're having the front of your house painted, and they stop halfway through. Never finish. Or even they get up to the last corner and they don't finish it there. And you've already paid them. Bad scenario, okay? She can't be happy about that. I don't think so. I'm almost 100% sure that something is not true. So I'm saying can't plus infinitive. Boom. You got it, guys. All right. I'm not going to ask you to write a sentence. We're going to check another option, and then you can choose. All right. Can't 2. And look at our cute little fluffy friend here, a cute little kitty cat having a little cat nap, having a little cat sleep. All right, our next formula, can't be plus gerund. Can't be plus gerund. We use can't be plus gerund to say that we are almost 100% sure that something is not happening now, okay? So the gerund is making it about now. They can't be sleeping because it's 1 in the afternoon. He can't be cooking. The power isn't on. Okay, weird. Why would he even, I don't know. So he told us he would cook dinner. He said he's in the middle of doing it. He can't be cooking. The power isn't on. How would he cook? Outside with a fire? That's dangerous. I don't know about that. All right. So they can't be sleeping because it's 1 in the afternoon. Well, maybe they are sleeping. That's why we're almost 100% sure. But it's highly doubtful. Okay? There's a lot of doubt about that. All right. So you guys know what to do now. It's your turn. Choose either example 1 for how to use can't or example 2 and write your own original sentence. Be a superstar that you are. 1 minute, 30 seconds this time. All right. You got this. You got this. You got this. Can't be plus gerund. She can't be thirsty. She just drank a whole bottle of orange juice. Thanks for sharing. I think we're almost there, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to check it out. Check out what you're doing. And while I do that, let's check number 3. That's right. There's a third example of how to use can't for deduction. You can say can't or couldn't. This is where could comes into play. Have plus past participle. Or couldn't or can't have been plus gerund. Okay? Can't or couldn't have plus past participle. Can't or couldn't have been plus gerund. Okay? So we use can't or couldn't have plus past participle or can't have been plus gerund to say that we are almost 100% sure that something did not happen or was not true in the past. Okay? He couldn't have met you at the cinema. I had the car. How would he get there? There's no public transport in this town. I don't know about that. All right, I'm a little suspicious that he met you at the cinema. Somebody is not telling the truth here. All right, so that one is the first example. Cantor couldn't have plus past participle. What about the gerund? I haven't done an example one with can't have been plus gerund. You know why? Because it's your turn. You got this, my friend. As usual, I'm going to give you a minute, and I'm going to say some more examples for the first one, okay? As I give you a minute and 30 seconds to come up with a can't have been plus gerund example. Go. All right, so more examples of the first one. He couldn't have met you at the cinema. I had the car. You could also say he can't have met you at the cinema. I had, or I have the car. You could also say as well, another example, I couldn't have been at the party because I was at work. You know, something like that. There's a lot of options we can do here. She couldn't have seen the robbers because they blindfolded her. So many examples for this. I think I'm going to try to think about things around the room. That's always hard. I always try to look around the room. She couldn't have bought a new phone because her phone's right here. And it's the same one. Okay? Great. I feel like my examples. Just trying to help. All right. That's it. Done. Can't wait to see what you wrote for can't have been plus gerund. You can also say, he can't have been sleeping because I saw him on Facebook commenting. Another great example. All right, let's go. It's your turn now. Well, you know, I just gave you your turn to say for can or can't, one example. But I'd like to see you do another one for must, okay? Another one for must, and remember, never say must to. You could say, it must have been amazing seeing Italy before coronavirus. Okay. It must have been interesting to learn about your DNA. There's so many different options that you can come up with. You guys have done so awesome in this lesson. You can take a turn to do another one if you want. I'm going to stick around. However, you guys have done a lot of great sentences throughout the lesson. I think I mixed it up a little bit from my original plan. I hope you feel like you have a better handle or understanding of must and can or can't and couldn't for deduction. Tomorrow, we're going to keep going with could, might, may, should, ought to, and some speculation, okay? So we're going to get deeper into this tomorrow, and we're going to cover the speculation aspect. Speculation, making a guess, okay? So deduction, you're making a pretty strong statement based on the evidence. Speculation, you're making a guess, an educated guess maybe, but still a guess, okay? So as usual, I just want to say thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here. I want to remind you about our podcast on Spotify. It's called SEDA Talk. All the amazing content, games, classes, everything we have SEDAcollegeonline.com. Thank you for joining us. Happy, happy, happy day. Have a wonderful day. Take this knowledge with you. And remember, you're doing great. From all of us at SEDA College Online, I want to say I've been Teacher Lydia. Peace out.